Danny Acosta here with Strikeforce CEO Scott Coker. Scott, another big night of fights for Strikeforce, the last in 2011. Talk about Melendez Masvidal. You know, how do you expect the fight to go, and what did we take away from it?
I mean, I think that going into the fight, people were like, "Oh, Gilbert's going to run through him," and I knew that the style of matchup could be potentially a tough fight for Gilbert, and Gilbert had to bring his A game, which he did. And I think that, excuse me, I think that he fought smart. He fought, enough to get the victory. But took some damage in this fight, and Jorge Masvidal is no joke, and so proves Gilbert to me is still #1, and onward and forward from here.
Fans understand that Jorge Masvidal is a tough guy and that he would perform tonight. Are there going to be surprises at lightweight? Are fans going to be surprised with who faces Gilbert Melendez in 2012?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guys. This fight just happened, and we wanted to see what happened in this fight before we moved to the next step. But when you think about the fights that we provided for Gilbert in the last 2 years, we've delivered always some big fights for him, and we're going to continue doing that. And so, you know what, we're going to go out there, and I said, Strikeforce is going to keep building, and sometimes, maybe it's a trade, maybe it's a free agent purchase or whatever it is, but we're going to go out there and keep building to get the best fighters, bring them here, and let Gilbert fight them.
Do you see a parallel between the Strikeforce and the UFC now than UFC and WC a few years ago?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, if you look at the weight divisions, I mean, we have much different weight divisions, I think, than they did even. And you know what? I think.
I mean, in terms of lightweight.
Yeah, in lightweight. I mean, I think that when you say parallels, you mean as far as having a lot of talent in the lightweight.
Yeah, two champions who could be #1 in the world.
I see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's well stated.
And talk about Cyborg Santos, a big win for her. Will we see her at 135 pounds in 2012?
I think that she wants to fight at a catch weight, like she said. I personally think it's going to be really tough for her to make to 135. But you know what? We'll see what happens. I mean, we're going to keep bringing other girls for her to fight. And there's a couple girls out there. There's that one Russian girl that, her name's so in mind. But we're going to keep bringing and she's a judo silver medalist or bronze medalist from the Olympics. And so, and then there's Ronda's name keeps popping up. But let Ronda, get her fights that she needs to get in, and let her fight Misha at 135 at some point. Then let her come up and fight Cyborg at 145.
How pleased are you with Strikeforce continuing on Showtime, and what are you excited about in 2012?
Well, you know what? For me personally, it's very exciting because, we put a lot of hard work and put our soul into building this league, and to see it continue, it gives us the opportunity to put on great fights, put on some of the best fighters in the world, and get some great ratings for Showtime. And great fights for the fans. So to me, it's a win for everybody. And you know what? Can there be enough great mixed martial arts action on TV? I mean, it's going to be great for us to do the up to 8 fights per year, and put on the fights that we did like tonight, or the fights that we did in September or in June. I mean, if you look at the history of Strikeforce, we put some amazing fights on, and we're going to continue to do that.
Strikeforce CEO Scott Coker.